the hairstylist, please. Stat. So the thought for the day falls to me. So here's the deal. You know, we're always thinking that hope is grounded in the future. We always think it's about tomorrow. But isn't it also true, or maybe even mainly true, that hope is anchored in the past? Aren't we supposed to sort of remind ourselves to remember that we've survived so far, that we've survived so much, that we're still here, and we've come this far? I always think that way about Homeboy Industries. You know, you look back over our 23-year long history, and we've always struggled, you know, and always with money. And I remember in the early days, you know, we lived somewhere in the paradox between the money is never there when you need it, and it's always on time. And I hadn't thought of this story for a billion years, but I remember we were about 3 years into Homeboy Industries, and we probably had 60 homies working from different neighborhoods from all over the projects there. And, you know, they were building a child care center, they were painting out graffiti, they were on maintenance landscaping crews, you know, and we would pay them out of this fund that we called the Pink Fund. And that was only because the color of the checks, it was pink. And we could say, how's the Pink Fund? We would ask each other on the team, and God, it's really low. And I remember one day, it was a Tuesday, we paid every Friday in those days. We won't return to that practice, but in those days, every Friday we had to come up with this payroll. So I was $10,000 short for Friday, and it was Tuesday, and I was quite anxious about it. And somewhere in the late afternoon, the doorbell rang, and there was an old woman at the door, and she had pulled her little Buick Jalopy out right in front of the door. Old woman, dressed very poorly. I thought she was going to ask me for some money. And she asked to talk to me, so I brought her into my office, and she said, my husband died 2 weeks ago. And I said I was sorry to hear that. And then she said, today my son and I, we were cleaning his room, and I lifted up the mattress, and there was this sack. So she reached into her purse, and she handed me the sack. It was a small, you know, sack, brown paper bag. And she goes, it's cash. And I said, and she goes, I want you to have it. I think my husband would want you to have it. I said, well, I bet you could use it. And she says, no, I'm old. I don't need anything anymore. My husband admired what you did because you helped people who no one else wanted to help. So I want you to have this so you can continue to help people. So we talked for some time, and then I walked her out to her car, and she got in the car, she rolled down the window, and then she turns to me and she says, I stopped counting at $10,000. There's more in there, but that's when I stopped counting. I don't want to say that's the only time that's ever happened. Actually, there are many stories like that. And part of the thing is hope is grounded in the future, but it's also anchored in the past, where you look back and you say, we've come this far. We've survived all this already. And we can survive more. And more than that, we're in pretty good shape, having survived all the stuff that all of us in this room have survived. So, anchor yourself in hope in the future and in the past, and let us today conquer this day. Rosa.